And now our next speaker is a graduate from UST with a degree in Industrial and Product Design. He has worked as a space planner for Edgeworth Communication Incorporated, a project manager for Chris Sports Incorporated, graphic designer for Act Media Philippines, a consultant for Hydra Creative Lab Incorporated, and is currently a senior solutions architect for Nord International Distributors. And to share his expertise on polyjet technology using multi-material for advanced research, ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Mr. Ferdinand C. Paraan.
So, I'm Ferdinand Paraan Jr. I'm from Nord Solutions Architect and also the Application Engineer for Stratasys Southeast Asia. Okay, so now I'll be presenting to you the technology of polyjet. So first, maybe some of you doesn't know who Stratasys is. Well, here in the Philippines, most commonly known brands are Ultimaker, Biggerbot, Markforged. So maybe some of you doesn't know who Stratasys is. Okay, so Stratasys, we are the people who invented the industry. Well, Stratasys invented the FDM technology, or others call it FFF, so Fused Deposition Modeling. And then here are the brands who we work with all over the world. So most of them are known and big companies worldwide. And Stratasys, we are the experts that experts use. Alright, so now let me talk more about the technology called polyjet. So polyjet technology, in short, is the only platform that offers multi-material printing for unparalleled realism. So when we say multi-material, we can use multiple materials in one print. So even if it's rubber-like characteristics, clear, or even for biomedical applications. So it uses resin. So it's not SLA. So we all know it's commonly known that we use SLA, resin for SLA. But this one, with polyjet, it jets the resin instead of with the resin bath, and then there's a wiper. This one, it jets the resin, and then there's a UV that cures it to make it solid. Okay? So this one example, basic example of a printed polyjet, 3D printed part. So as you can see, this one is printed in one piece. So there's a transparent material, there is a rigid, and there are rubber parts in this print. No post-process. Okay? So walang kinulayan dyan. Everything straight from the printer. The only thing that was removed is the soluble material. So this is another example of a more complicated polyjet 3D printed part. So as you can see, there is a more fine detail, and then it can create from matte to glossy finish. Okay, so from there, we're going to see the industries that we can help using this polyjet technology. So for automotive, we drive the innovation. So one of our partners, Volvo, they use to create a mock-up of an engine to fasten the design and para makita yung mga design fault in the early stage of the design process. Okay, so we also have partners here in the Philippines when it comes to education. So we have an installed bases in some universities here in the Philippines that uses the polyjet technology. So this one is in US. So they create a model of a implant or even a part of a person, so they can practice pre-surgical practices. So even in consumer goods, this one is also 3D printed. So one of our partners, OtterBox, in the US, they print the design of the case of the phone in the same exact day of the launch of the mobile gadget itself. So for example, iPhone 12, they released the product today. What OtterBox do is they design within the day and then release their product in the same day that the phone was launched. So it makes everything faster. Because polyjet technology compared to FDM technology is 50% faster compared to traditional 3D printing. Okay? So for healthcare, so this is Mia, the girl in the picture. Mia has a heart problem, and the surgeons replicate the same exact heart that Mia has, and then they practice on it for the higher success rate of printing. So later on, higher success rate of surgery. So later on, I will explain more about this application. So even in dental, we can produce dental molds wherein it can be used for forming, to create retainers, braces, and even for implants. So this is my favorite part of this presentation. So where are we in realism? Hyper-realism. So as we all know, ano yung normal na what we can do with 3D printer? One color? Multicolor? So my next question is, how many of you have seen Mission Impossible? Mission Impossible. So naalala nyo yung mask? Okay? And then yung white chicks, yung niscan sila. Yung white chicks, tapos ginawan sila ng yung fake body. So right now, I'm going to show you this. This is, I've taken this photo when I was in Stratasys Shanghai. So, this one is printed in one piece, diretso. And then there's no post-process. Even the color is already embedded in the 3D printed part. So this is a face of a person who was scanned in Stratasys, and then we printed it. So in this picture, sad part is we can also always see it through the picture, but when you touch it, it feels like a real human skin. Okay? So even the lips is different with the shore value, softness is different from the cheeks. Okay? So medyo mahirap siya ikwento ng salita lang. So it's better if you can hold it and feel it in actual. So we have some samples in our booth and the other building. You can see some samples of it. Yung wala kahapon, may bago kami dinala ngayon. Some samples of hyper-realistic printing. Okay? So here are some examples. So even apparel, shoes. We can create from the hardness of the rubber sole to the softness and flexibility of the texture of the leather fabric. So, kaya siya gawin. So it's not only for prototyping, it can also be used for end-use part. So one of our partners, Mini Cooper, what we do is to make it more personalized. What we do is we replace the taillight or even the dashboard parts with more customized, and we replace them with the name of the owner of the car. So that's what we are doing in Germany and with Mini Cooper. So this is a Safilo group. Safilo owns a brand of Safilo itself, and then Polaroid. They design lenses, eyewear, and then they use the PolyJet 3D printer to create their own design and make everything, the design process faster to release it to the market earlier. And then what we have is art installations. We do this all over the world. Most of the artists, designers use the PolyJet technology to create their designs and create a lot of art installations. So maybe some of you is asking, how do we get the color? Okay, so how do we get the color? There's only one word, and this is our secret. Pantone. So Stratasys J750, the model of a PolyJet technology 3D printer, is Pantone validated. We are the only that is the only 3D printer that is Pantone validated. We can match the color from the Pantone, from the back Pantone color guide, and then we can match it to the 3D printed part. So we are also validated when it comes to Pantone skin tone. Okay, so what's with Pantone skin tone? So the one you saw earlier, the mask, we can get the actual skin color of the person and then printed with the same exact color and replica. So this is an example. That's my hand. So this is an example. So Tiffany blue box. I tried to get the color using X-Rite color match, and then input the look at the Pantone guidebook, and then with the Pantone swatch, we try to input it in the software of the Stratasys 3D printer, and then it was directly printed the color itself. And then when you try to color match it with the actual sample, it's going to match 95 to 100%. Okay, so this is another example. This is a runway lights. This is a runway light. So this is an end-use part wherein it's 3D printed. So the only post-process done here is sanding and buffing to make it really look, feel, and function the way it's supposed to be. So this is a runway light and tarmac. So even the color is already embedded in the 3D printer. Yeah, so Kevin. So the top part of this is the foundation. Yeah. So this is the foundation. Your video is my hand rotating the foundation. So this is made for a brand in China, wherein it is they designed a limited edition packaging of a foundation. So it is fully 3D printed. So all of those are 3D printed. So even the glass and the flower art inside is 3D printed in one piece, no assembly. So this is an example of another one 3D printed. Ito yung nasa left side. It's supposed to be a video of me holding the Mini Cooper taillights. So it's a sample. So pero wala video, hindi gumagana. So ito rin video. This one is a fetus. So huwag yun natin ipilat. So this one is a fetus. So this one is uso to sa China, wherein they get the scan of the baby in the tummy of the mother, and then they 3D print it. So gagawin nila souvenir. So during the baby, still in the stomach of the mother. So where are we right now in the medical field? So maybe what I've shown you earlier is more on, medyo mabilis ako na, maubos yung oras ko. What I showed you earlier is more on consumer goods and some applications. But this one is for more technical when it comes to medical field. So these are some examples of a 3D printed part wherein all printed, simulated the same texture as a human part, as a hand, and also veins, bones in the hand. So even in the upper left, so this example used for maxillofacial surgery, wherein they use it for pre-surgical clinical trial. So here are some of our success stories wherein they use the polyjet technology when it comes to 3D printing and medical care. So this is also an example of an anatomically precise 3D printed part using the polyjet technology. So how do we do it? So with MIR scans, DICOM, CT scan images, we transform it to create a 3D, same exact 3D model wherein you can print the same exact case of the person who needed treatment. For example, there's a bone tumor. So you need to scan the bone, get the CT scan to create an actual jig to remove the bone with precision. So this is another example. So from there, we 3D printed, simulating the same shore value, the softness, texture, and then we try to practice on it, and then there, to increase the success rate of the surgery. So this happened in Miami, in Nicholas Children's Hospital. So what I explained earlier, Mia had a heart problem. So ang problem is yung aorta niya, and then yung ibang yung magkakadikit yung ibang vein sa puso niya. So the thing is, they have to cut it to create different, to separate the left ventricle and the right ventricle. So what they did is, well, imagine it's inoperable. It's really hard for that kind of procedure. So the thing is, using the Polyjet technology, they simulated the exact same replica of Mia's heart. And then from there, they practiced and practiced, and then until they achieved a really high success rate of operation. And right now, Mia is living really well and happy. Okay, so this one is Center for Biomedical Life Sciences. This one is in Singapore. So they 3D print nose and even some jig were used for operating, removing tumors in the brain. And then some of it are being used mostly for maxillofacial reconstruction. So this one is also, they simulated a brain aneurysm, and then they operated it and see what is the best type of treatment for the person who has brain aneurysm. So what are the other countries doing with the Polyjet technology? So this one is in New Zealand. There's a Victoria University. There's a research center there called MAID. So they designed prosthesis to help people. So it's still a research institute. So they even designed prosthesis especially for a special function, like for swimming. So this one is Sentient Skin, also in the same university, wherein they 3D printed the skin and then it reacts depending on the person who's going to touch it. For example, ako yung naka-encode dyan sa skin na yan. And then, if I'm the one who's going to touch it, or even your family members or close friends, magiging smooth yung paghawak mo sa niya. But if hindi niya kilala yung humawak dyan, magiging aggressive, magiging defensive yung skin na yan, and makaka-affect siya dun sa ibang tao na hawak. Okay? So this one is a aquatic creature printed with Stratasys J750, wherein it illuminates depending on the environment inside the water tank. So even if you touch it, it creates a different color. So yeah, it creates a different color. So it is even watertight. The print is watertight itself. So this is the newest when it comes to 3D printing. So this 2019 September, this month, New York Fashion Week, Stratasys worked with designers Fitch, and then they designed wherein ang ginamit nila sa fabric is they 3D printed directly on the garment, on the fabric itself. So that is something really new in this industry, wherein you can 3D print directly to the fabric. Okay? So that is my last slide. So, ito pala, sorry, second to the last slide. And they 3D printed to the fabric. So this is how it looks in close-up. So you can see there are small pellets directly embedded to the fabric. So that you can 3D print really intricate designs. Okay, so that is my last slide. So thank you. Hopefully I made justice to this really wonderful technology.